welcome to the Binge Thinker for another week. My name is Jamil Raymond. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here, as always. Folks, it's been a big week since last week. The highest of highs, a pretty big low last week as we talked about, but I'm bouncing the fuck back, which is great. It's been a pretty hectic week in Founderland in my newfound life. Been out a little bit, experimenting with life, and yeah, just settling the fuck in to finish the job of what I've got here with Tech Sales Academy. So I did tell you, look, last week was a bit of a flub. Sort of made my peace with it, most of it. Over the last 7 days, I've been out exploring, went to another event, went to the Melbourne Accelerator Program, which is basically the startup incubator for Melbourne University, which is one of the big universities here. Great if you want to get into law. I'm pretty sure they're good at technology as well. Not that I'm too sure. I just know them for law. If you want to become a lawyer, you got to go to Melbourne Uni. If you want to be Asian, you got to go to Melbourne Uni. And if you want to be an Asian lawyer, you definitely have to go to Melbourne Uni. So, I guess to sort of solidify what's going on, I've pretty much over the weekend settled into my strategy. It's content, right? I have to just build and expand my funnel. I've been spending a few hours every day on LinkedIn, growing my reach. And, I'm happy to say that I've got consistent meetings and connections with people. I'm growing on the platform. I'm getting increasing leads. I just need to hone in my sales process and actually get my collateral together for, customers that do want to speak to me. I haven't actually got my own sales process down to sell the course because it's funny. I don't want to sell the sales course, as in I don't want to sell to people, which is also the same. Again, I have to reframe all of my perspective around what I'm doing here. I'm solving problems. I'm solving a huge fundamental problem here. And I need to be considerate of that instead of being caught up in trying to sell myself, which is what I get concerned about, is that I'm scared in some way of being ingenuine, but that's not the case at all. I'm trying to be my most genuine. And I just don't think I've ratified or, aligned my sales process down. I mean, it's not a big deal because I think every conversation I'm having meetings quite regularly. I had 3 on the weekend. All of those, at least 2 of them were for significant opportunities. One's a course. I got 1 sale, by the way. Thank you. 1 sale in the last week. So we're off 0, which is nice. And I've also got a few coaching calls and opportunities coming along, which are much more valuable to me. Because again, like the agenda, folks, right now is just get me to money. It's just I need to be looking after myself and covering my bases. That's all I really care about. And then we just work the machine. We just keep building the machine, building the course, building the engagement. And over the weekend, I've put together my strategy to do so. So what I'm going to do now is really focus on content, unique content. I know that engaging on the socials is working. Engaging on LinkedIn is working. That's great. People are following me. People are connecting with me. People are sending me DMs. So yeah, like in just a week, I've seen a significant uptake in impressions, in engagements, in followers. So if I just keep this dedication to this over a sustained period of time, which I will absolutely do, then I think I'll have no problems for maintaining growth on the platform. I just have to be consistent with it. It's only realistically been a week of consistency in the last 4 months. So I got to give myself some, leverage or some leniency for that, right? From there, so that's the main platform is LinkedIn. I'm going to start on YouTube a weekly short lesson, just short, basically almost repurposing my content that I've already posted into a slightly longer format and basically make it a short sales lesson that's sub 10 minutes every week. So I'm going to bank a few of those up. My mind has been racing about the design of what that looks like. I mean, the good thing is I can put it together myself pretty quickly because I've got the content. I can shoot on the same stuff that I'm using right now to speak to you good people on. And, you know, basically all I really need is good graphics to support me on YouTube, which I saw a great example. This random girl on YouTube on the algo, she had these fantastic frames to present her content on, which I'm pretty, you know, to give you just side angles and all these sorts of things. And, you know when you like a newsreader format, like there's newsreaders on one side and then there's the information on the other, just nice graphical frames that move and capture the eye whilst I'm talking to keep, just to keep things engaging for, you know, the 6 to 10 minutes that I'll be speaking in each video. So me talking is never going to be the problem, as you guys would probably fucking know. It's really just about how do I get this production flow together. So I'm really excited for that. I was brainstorming that a lot of yesterday and today. And then, so there's that, right? And then as far as the content of the course goes, I've got 3 things to build. I've got to do a free training video about the hows and whys behind Tech Sales Academy and exactly what it is, because with a high ticket course like Tech Sales Academy or Tech Sales OS, you need to show your value up front to people who are just, and like it's very hard for people to justify just dropping $700 without seeing some evidence or some proof that you can do the thing that you're purporting yourself to be. Thankfully, in the time that I created the last training video, I've got a lot more clout and my story has become a lot more focused about what I can do, what I can achieve and help people with behind the narrative of Tech Sales OS, because I actually have a product that I talk about and believe in now. So that's pretty cool. And I think that'll definitely help with the pre-sales process and getting people involved. And then I'm going to do a 5-day email course. So basically break down a miniaturized version of Tech Sales OS into 5 key lessons into a micro course that customers can then appreciate and, you know, go, hey, this guy's giving out mad value for nothing. That's pretty cool. And then so I'm going to give them that. And then that's a free teaser of the goods, and that should be a lead magnet that eventually will go into the Account Executives Toolkit, which is a short version of the course that's specifically for account executives and account managers. It's the tools and the process that you need to become an A-grade account executive. That's based on my experience of being a 2X top 1% account manager. So I could fucking nail that process absolutely and kill it. Basically just fucking crush it, right? So that's what's good, is that I've got some strategy, some things to build, some very strong narratives leaning into my strengths over the next few weeks. I haven't sold my car yet, but I will this week to a dealer. I'll lose a few grand on it than what I was expecting, but whatever, man. I think if I can get all these things together, plus the ongoing growth on the platforms, I think I'll be hitting money quite comfortably by the end of 3 months. Yeah, pretty confident about that, because I'm also going to chuck in some webinars as well. So I'm going to do a free monthly webinar, which then gives, you know, basically it's just an hour lecture with a pitch at the end, which is what I do fucking best. Like, again, I teach people. I love the teaching. I love the lecturing. I've been doing those lectures for Main Sequence the last couple of weeks. That relationship is a bit rocky. I don't want to talk about that in public because it's under dispute, but here's a bit of drama in there, and once it blows over, we'll talk about it elsewhere. Let's just say it's my fault. Just out of respect, I don't want to, you know, bite the hand that feeds, or else I would tell you guys. And yeah. It's not that bad. Don't worry. But yes, that's how I've straightened myself out over the last week. It's like, okay, I've got a plan. I've got some structure. I understand what's wrong. It's just a funnel issue. I've got leads. I've got conversations. I've got, you know, there is pipeline. There is reach. There is engagement. That's good. Then me coaching myself is just like, how can I improve my process? And realistically, even my face-to-face closing process isn't locked in because I don't have collateral, which I will design in the next day or two as well. So there's a lot of content, a lot of writing that needs to still happen in the business. Looking back, it is a little bit dumb to think that I just had this all figured out by launching the course and be over and with. But that's the journey, right? That's the journey of growth. That's the journey of being a founder and making mistakes. I am not perfect. You guys definitely should know that by now. Holy shit. But again, I'm back to feeling confident. The stress has largely gone away. It does creep up from time to time, but I've got plenty on my plate. And again, I still believe in everything I do. I just need to pivot, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm just buying myself some time. Success is on the way. I can sense growing numbers, growing conversations, growing opportunities in just a week. So I just need to keep going. And like I told you last week, I didn't even know 3 months before I was going to become a top 1%er, I didn't even know I was going to be a top 1%er. So why couldn't a similar miracle happen? And again, the miracle just needs to be money. It's really just safety, right? It's really just the financial safety, which we can do. Again, and at the end of the day, I'll just go get another fucking job selling the shit that I need to, selling the same shit that I'm purporting to sell and be fucking good at anyway. Like, what's the real risk here? But, yes. So going out, putting myself out there as a founder again, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Although it's nice to be a human being, get out and have some cool, interesting conversations with people. But you just forget, maybe it's just me because I'm putting myself into very out there situations, but there's so much social awkwardness that I forgot about. Also, sometimes I can be an absolute fucking moron. And I found myself in some very awkward situations this week. First one was at Jambo. First Jambo back in a month. Great gig, full house, over full almost. Great vibe, good gig. People enjoyed it. Love putting it on. And, it's run at an Ethiopian restaurant. And so there's some brothers that will come and go. And one of them kind of looked familiar. And he sort of gave me like a knowing look for a second. I was like, do I know you? And then I was like, oh, I think I know him from where I go to get my coffee, which is another Ethiopian place. So I was like, oh, hey, I know you from Danny's, right? Which is the name, Danny's the name of the guy that owns the cafe. And he goes, no, I don't go there. And I go, oh, okay. And Sam, my mate, who is also Ethiopian, just goes, whoa, racist. Which is say, come on, man. Like, hey, we all kind of do look alike. Usually it's the Asians that all look alike. And then, I just I mistook some black dude for another black dude. My brother for another brother. What can you say? Shit happens, man. But it's just so funny that sometimes I can be so socially astute and connect with people, create great relationships, and then sometimes just be a complete fuckwit. It really does go at both ends of the spectrum. Not to say that was too big a deal, but it's just so funny sometimes. And then here's a great story when I connect with people, right? Is that at Jambo, we're going in, we're setting up, we've got a full house pre-sale. So there's like no seats about. This girl walks in, pretty damn cute. Walks in and is like, hey, do you guys have room for extras? Can we walk in? And I'm like, well, we don't know yet. People might not show up because we don't like to refuse people because it's a fun vibe. And it's a good time and people want to come out and check us out. And it's like, we'll see what we can do, but it might not be comfortable or it might not be ideal. We also get very conscious about the space that is taken up in the gig because, like, if it gets overcrowded in there, it changes the vibe of the room. People feel a little bit clustered. They're not relaxed because they might not feel like they've got much room. It can be hard to get comics in and out towards the stage. And again, all of these minor elements of the lighting, the room, the capacity, the warmth of the room, like literally the temperature of the room, it all impacts how the audience responds to a gig. And that's kind of the art and the science and the beauty and the pain of comedy, is that there is so much fucking variables to the audience experience that can change the effectiveness of the show, how good your jokes hit. Like it is so emotionally attunable. And that's why I really love doing comedy, and why I really love, why I stay connected to it, because it's that emotional attunement and emotional intelligence that you need to be great at comedy and to be a great salesperson, a great people person, is huge. It's absolutely massive. It's so beneficial. So anyway, this hot chick, gorgeous, and she's just hanging around. I'm like, come hang around at the back, because she's like, well, I can wait. She's got two friends, and I'm just like, I can wait. And I was like, all right, sure, hang out the back until the seats fill up, and if no one shows up, then you can grab a seat. She said, great, awesome. Sitting back, I'm setting up, bit of small talk whilst I'm setting up, and I don't know how we got into the topic, but we're talking about ethnicity. Of course, it's Jambo, right? It's an ethnic gig. And then she goes to me, I bet you can't guess where I'm from. And I'm like, oh, really? And so I look at her. She's gorgeous, slightly olive complexion, speaking with a French accent. So French accent, olive complexion, brown eyes, brown hair. And so I go, you're from Algeria. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I think you're from Algeria. And she goes, how did you guess that? First go. Who? And I was like, because I am every race, baby. Every fucking race. Who picks Algerian, right? I bet most of you motherfuckers couldn't even point out Algeria in a map. Probably me included. But let me break it down for you. So, olive skin, right? Kind of Araby looking, but not Arabic, right? Good features. So I know she's probably like Northern African, Arab Peninsula-ish. She's speaking French. So Algerians, they're a French colony. Most of North Africa has been colonized by France at some point. So if she didn't look French because she wasn't that pale. She had that nice, like, again, olive skin, good facial structure, spoke in the French. I was like, she didn't look quite white. She looked a bit more Arab. So I was like, I reckon there. Nailed it. First go. Your boy's a fucking genetic encyclopedia. That's not the word I'm looking for. That's a shame. But then, and again, the game goes both ways, and she's trying to pick what I look like, and no one ever. It's like every time someone goes with me, no one's getting it early, right? I'm such a fucking miscellaneous in the face, which is a joke from Pete. Who's that guy? The skinny guy that was fucking Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson, he's an Italian comedian that was, dated Kim Kardashian, and he's got a joke where he's like, nobody can tell where I'm from. I'm real miscellaneous in the face. And that's me too, right? It's a good joke. So yeah, again, that guessing game takes, 5-6 minutes, like literal minutes. And I'm just like giving her hints, and then eventually she gets it. Anyway, we get ready for the show. Her friends come. And she tells her friends, like, this guy got Algerian first go. And they were like, whoa, that's crazy. And then their other friend, they had a guy, it was a chick and a guy friend. The other chick spoke French, so probably Algerian as well. Or maybe for actual French, I don't know. But she looked pretty white. And her friend, still looked Arabic. He was like, guess where I'm from? So I'm like, he also spoke a bit of French, but he was darker skinned. So I was like, okay, I think it's too obvious. If you're saying, guess where I'm from, then you're not from Algeria because you wouldn't be the same race. But you're from the same area and you're a bit darker and a bit more Arab looking. So I'm going to go Morocco. And he goes, bro, you got it first time again. And I'm just like, bitch, I am the every race. Right? I am the alpha and the omega. I am the singular experience of human consciousness in a different fractal, right? I've got all the genetics and all the races inside me. I get this shit, boy. I actually said most of that out loud as well. Was I a bit baked? You fucking better believe I was. Anyway, just thought that was a lot of fun. Had a great time. Although I don't think those three actually paid for their comedy tickets. They got dinner and got a food platter, which is great for the restaurant. But I don't think she understood properly when I said pay for your tickets at the counter. And yeah, they got to enjoy the show for free. So that lovely Algerian lady, also Algerian bitch, watch my comedy for free. Not that I really care. I really don't care, to be honest. Like, if people have a good time, that's what we really all care about. But yeah, also, have a bit of an honesty policy. Because she said goodbye to me on the way out. I'm like, I don't think this chick gets it. Oh well. It might be clout for next time if I ever see her around Footscray and be like, hey, you know what you can do? Instead of paying for your tickets, that sounds wrong. I was just going to say, take me out for a coffee, right? That sounds real creepy. Again, like I said, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do? Here's a low moment. This one was brutal. So Wednesday night or Thursday night, can't remember. I go to the Melbourne Accelerator program, go to the startup launch night. So an acquaintance, bit of a friend of mine who is also building stuff, who's also got a startup. Their startup was accepted into the Melbourne Accelerator program. Amazing. So they're being incubated by Melbourne University to develop their product, which is great. Resources, support, etc., etc. So I know Arvind, who I've been calling Arvind, but because I've got the Indian, he's Indian, and I say Arvind because I know that's the way the Indians say it, but everyone says Arvind, and then I look like a fucking dickhead for calling him Arvind, the long A. It's so awkward that I'm trying to connect with this guy. I think he's a really cool dude, but I've been mispronouncing his name probably the entire time, even though it is phonetically, racially correct. It's like when people call me Jamil Rahman, which is the way the Pakis say it in Pakistan. That's why it's supposed to be said, but it's Raymond in here in Australia. So I'm being racially engineered. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, but I know it's grating on their nerves a little bit. Anyway. So Evan, he's got a co-founder for this app called Schedule. And Brett's the really cool dude. Respect him a lot. He's another driven individual. He's in sales. Man, this guy's a bad... I thought I was doing too much. This guy's doing too much. He's in sales by day. He's got this startup. He also, I think, is the part owner of a cafe. And then this is where it gets weirder, right? And this is what I didn't know. So I met Brett a few months ago at a party, at a gathering, had a chat about, again, he's in sales, I'm in sales. He's talking about the business. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm selling tech and things like that. It's worth connecting, having a chat. He has a partner there. Lovely lady. And we connect, we have a bit of fun, we have a chat, good chin wag, etc. It's good, it's nice, it's a nice night out. Say, oh, nice to meet you, Brett. Don't really connect, but we end up meeting, again for the first time in yonks, at the accelerator program. Now, between when I saw him the first time and now, it's probably been about a good 4 to 6 months. And there's been a lot of marijuana consumed, a lot of short-term memory loss that's been degraded in that time. But what happens is, at the event, the startup incubator, he's there, and then he's got a lady with him in tow. And they kiss. And from what I remember, they kiss, and I can't remember. I think it's Ellie, who is the partner I met the first time. I can't remember her. I couldn't remember her face. She didn't. I saw the kiss, and I presumed that she was the same person that I'd met. And so I sort of said, "Hey, it's good to see you. I'm pretty sure we caught up at Waxflower that time when I was speaking to Brett's partner." And she goes, "Huh? What?" And she goes, and she's drawn a complete blank. And I'm like, "Weren't you at Waxflower, that venue? We caught up?" And she goes, "Oh, no, you must be thinking of Ellie. Her name is M." And what I did not know is that Brett has a wife. That was the lady that kissed him on the lips that night, and a partner. Which was the lady that I met the first time I met him. So I've just had this weird polyamory faux pas where I've confused both of these ladies, and like they are not similar, but they are kind of similar. They're similar-ish height, and they both had shorter haircuts. And like I said, I don't remember the face, but I was just like, "Oh, this is so awkward," because it's not like I know Brett, and I barely know Avon. And I feel like I am intruding because I'm like coming to check out. I'm like, Avon invited me, but I barely know these guys. And I'm sort of like lingering and checking it out and just seeing what's up. So I am, I'm not inside their world. It's a bit awkward. It's not that awkward because I know how to talk to people. And again, that's one of my strengths, is just networking and chatting shit with people. But then, again, I'll just run into these ridiculously awkward and embarrassing moments. And I was just like, "Oh, this is no good." And luckily they were pretty cool about it, but I was just like, this is brutal. Just sitting there at my social, I realized I'm more anxious than I thought. And I'm literally, I knew 3 people there out of 700, and 2 of them were extremely busy schmoozing and doing what they needed to do. Fair enough. And here I am I'm just increasingly becoming Larry David. It's just awkward and, just being out of character. Not out of character, but just there are points where I'm pointing out just weird social faux pas and just feeling like an awkward fucking idiot, man. Ugh. But yeah, hey, that's life, man. Could be worse. Again, Brett's a great dude. I'm excited for what they've got built, what they're building. I actually went and saw all 3 of them, Brett and the ladies, at their cafe in Coburg Friday night, because they invited me, and I was like, Brett's intriguing. He's an interesting dude, and I do want to be closer to what they're going on, because he's in the world of startups, and I could when I went to this startup thing, I could easily teach every single one of those startups how to sell properly and sell their solutions properly. So it's pretty interesting, that I could easily add value to any of these startups if they've got the money to do so, of course. I would love to consult and, give them some free tips. But if they actually want to get into the meat and potatoes of what it means to sell a technology solution, then of course I want a piece of the action, baby, because these startups get mega growth. And if they get contracts that are worth, they have to get, some of these organizations only have to get 1 or 2 customers. They're in 6-figure, 7-figure territory. So I'm like, I want to be a little slice of that. So yeah, that's why I want to get into that world. But again, like Avon and Brett are great dudes, really cool. So it's just nice to be in that world, So that's what I'm really excited by. And again, another great moment, the highs and the lows of where I'm at. I didn't know anyone except for one person at this cafe. They were doing a first birthday celebration, where it was like a $40 all-you-can-eat barbecue. Amazing, delicious food there. God, it was so good. It felt like a proper cookout. I haven't been to like a nice barbecue or a nice cookout in a very long time. And the food was fantastic. Shout out to them. Big Elmer, I'm pretty sure, is the name of the place in Coburg. If you haven't seen it, let me just confirm that, because I do want to share some love here. It was fantastic food. Big _Elmer on Instagram. If you're in the Coburg area, check it the fuck out. And Jesus Christ, I just opened my Instagram to check that, and My Instagram Explore, not that I check, is not that I ever go and explore really, but it's just fucking. They just target you with tits and porn, and I don't barely look at that stuff. Like almost never look at that stuff. It's just insane. They just know. Like yeah, my my fucking Instagram targeted ads are getting increasingly sad. Right? It's just be a sperm donor. Do you need an AI girlfriend? It's like, what? Leave me the fuck alone, man. Like, I'm doing fine. Yes. Is the streak dry? Yes. It's deliberate. It's intentional, mostly. Would I love to have a partner? Yes. But I got to make some money. I'll open that up in due time. But fucking hell, what are they checking? What cookies are they looking at of mine to be like, you're a lonely, sad motherfucker? But but your sperm could be useful for other people. I mean, you're throwing it away anyway, right? Oh, goodness me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just opened this up and now I've just got literally like fucking just this, it's basically softcore porn on my feed, which is no good. So I was like wondering now, like, I'm just going to keep this lighthearted, this pod, give you updates of the solopreneur journey. And I just wanted to give you a couple of quips, just like that, I think is going to be the ongoing structure of this pod. Just go what's going on in my life, a couple of things that I think are worth talking about. And I might go back to some lessons soon. But honestly, this journey, this is better than me fucking talking about a book. I'm giving you some real life shit, ladies and gentlemen, about the ups and downs of starting your own business. Delicious, fun stuff. So a couple of things that I had here that I thought were interesting. Been watching a lot of... So Jerry Seinfeld, and we're talking about comedy for a bit. Jerry Seinfeld released a new movie called Unfrosted, and he's been on this mad promotional spree. He's just been promoting the fuck out of it. He's been on podcast after podcast. He's doing GQ stuff. He's on everything. I was just like, holy shit, how many interviews has this guy done? This guy is promoting the fuck out of this movie. Watched it last night. Good movie. I will recommend it. Like, it's not hard-hitting comedy, but it is funny, it is witty, and it is nice to just have, and like the actors in it, the comedic actors are all fantastic. Everyone does a great job. And yeah, I think he's really put together something. And I really do think that if you can execute a good comedic idea nowadays, it's worth its weight in gold at the moment because we know that the pendulum is swinging back when it comes to comedy and PC, which is good. Thank fuck. So we're going to see some heavier comedies come out soon. But Jerry, Seinfeld, he is a predictably safe enough brand, right? He's a good, solid PG to an M. So that's a good, safe bet for Netflix. He's not going to push things too far. He does have a dark mind. He does have some crass jokes, don't get me wrong, but that's just not his style all the time. Anyway, one of the funny things... if you don't know much about Seinfeld, like he is a fucking genius and he is one of the greatest comedians of all time. But what I love about Jerry is he is completely honed into who he is as a human being, about what he's going to do and what he's not going to do. And one of the funny things that sort of popped up during these interviews, he's doing an interview with GQ and he's like talking about his 10 favorite things. And the last of his things that he had that he couldn't live without, there was like sneakers and a pocket knife and some other random stuff. The number 10 thing that he had, things I can't live without. His number 10 thing was his Star of David. Because he's Jewish, and fair enough, right? But so obviously it's supposed to be this light-hearted, these are my cool things, and he's just talking about what I like and what I don't like, and it's supposed to be this light-hearted segment. And then they finish with the Star of David. And you can hear the producer in the background go, Jerry, your 10th thing is the Star of David. And clearly we're in the depths of Israel versus Palestine, and to be pro-Israel at this moment is like pretty dangerous, right? And then you could just, the interview just takes a complete, you can feel it deaden because Seinfeld just goes, he's been lighthearted and then he just goes, oh yeah, so I have a Star of David. I wear it every day. It connects me to my Jewish community and the people of Israel. And yeah, I just wear that every day. And it just became so matter of fact. And I could tell that it was a complete odds with what GQ would want to purport out there of being, whatever political stance they want to take. But it was just so funny. Just to watch this guy just like, it's obviously a touchy subject, right? It's so touchy at the moment. And then it is strange to think that Seinfeld is pro-Israel. Right, and I'm not hating on the bloke. Like, everyone's got their reasons, and I don't give enough of them. I don't fucking care enough to really say anything and be like, oh, what about that? It is what it is. But yeah, like, he's facing a fuck ton of backlash at the moment, again, just for being pro-Israel. I mean, you don't want to be pro-Israel. I think the pro-Israel movement needs some sort of. It needs a little leeway. I don't know if this is conservative, but just like in Australia or America, it's like, the people are good, the government's fucked. You got to give Israeli people that benefit of the doubt. I don't think there's that many pro-wartime, pro-invasion what they're doing. I'd love to see the internal stats on that, but again, Israel is a propaganda state, so I don't think you're ever going to get the realities of that. Yes, 115% of Israelis are pro-Israel and are pro this war. You're gonna get some weird Jewish Kim Jong-un shit or something like that. Well, I don't know. This might be a deep cut, but this made me laugh. It's like just Jerry doing just Jerry Seinfeld like trying to tackle Israel, Palestine, and just being like, this is the joke I heard of. I was like, you can't yada yada genocide. You can't yada yada invasion. Oh, I hope you guys get that. It's the yada yada. You can't. So like the original joke is yada yada yada, right? When you just cut through what's unimportant. And in Seinfeld, the TV show, they go, someone yada yada'd sex, like someone had sex. And you can't yada yada sex. That is not a minor detail you can brush past. Sex is something that you need to, I think is noteworthy. And then again, the same thing with genocide. You can't just yada yada yada, all the Palestinians are gone. There you go, right? And I just imagine Seinfeld doing that. Oh, thank God that pendulum's swinging back, right? Holy shit. Anyway, speaking of comedy, I want to just shout this out. I don't know if I did this a few weeks ago, but it's just what I feel, man. What do we got? 40 minutes. All right, sweet. I'm going to wrap it up after this. So there is an Australian comedian out there called James Donald Forbes McCann, and he is a South Australian-based comedian, and he is fucking hilarious. And right now, this comedian, who was 3 years ago, like during the Aussie Comedy Network days, which I'm wearing the T-shirt right now for those playing at home on the audios, I wanted to. James is a fucking hilarious comedian that was like quasi pro. It was not a semi pro in Adelaide, and he had some great bits, and he's just got a real unique, authentic voice, and he's such a good performer. I saw him at a comedy show at Crab Lab, must have been just before the pandemic started. I can't remember when I saw him, but he absolutely crushed. And I was fucking pissing myself at him. He was so good. He was owning the goddamn room. And I thought, man, this guy has fucking got it. And then, this guy, James, he went back to Adelaide, as most comedians do here in Australia. He struggled as a middling comedian trying to make his way up. And again, he had such interesting, he was an original person. He's a Catholic. He's got 2 kids, doesn't believe in condoms, but he's somehow making his life work I think he's a copywriter by day to afford what he's doing, and then at night he's doing comedy. And I saw him put out content for ages that I thought was fucking great, but the internet did not respond to. So he's putting out clips on YouTube and he's putting clips on Instagram and TikTok. And then he got a couple of viral clips here and there, but nothing crazy. It's nothing enough to fucking eat off. All right. And then I think it's when Shane Gillis started toured Australia. James somehow got the hookup to open for Shane in Australia. I don't even know how he did it. Maybe through friends of friends saying who's a good opener. And again, like Shane Gillis, if you don't know him, he's the biggest thing in comedy at the moment. Like he is the it guy for now. And he's fucking hilarious and he deserves it. We talked about this a few weeks ago with the SNL stuff about he's the reason why the pendulum's swinging back. And now somehow James McCann has fallen into the slipstream of Shane Gillis and went from hilarious, unknown South Australian, not quasi-professional, to literally opening for the biggest comedian, one of the biggest comedians in the world right now. Like just a meteoric rise. And it's not like he's got a big following. What's even crazier is that he has got his young family. I think he's got 2 kids, both of them under 3 or 4, in tow. He's bringing them across America. He took them from Australia to America. He's basically living out of a car to support his dreams and ambitions with his wife in tow and their car full of shit and full of possessions. And this guy, and James is putting it all on the fucking line just to become a great comedian and make money and make a living. And literally this guy, James, is now opening, like he's in photos and he's getting exposure on Shane Gillis's podcast. He's got photos where he's with Post Malone and is opening for Shane at the fucking Forum in LA. And now he's fucking doing stand-up at the Mothership, at Rogan's Comedy Club in Austin. Like this guy is living most comedians' dreams just by this beautiful happenstance that he's just fallen into the slipstream of one of the best comedians in the world. And it's fucking crazy to watch him do that. And I am so happy for him. And that's why I'm just like, holy shit, this guy who deserves it. Like he's funny, he's original, he's different, he's a genuine comedy voice, is just literally putting it all on the fucking line to make it as a comedian. And he's got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and he's leaned the fuck in. And, he's risking his family and his well-being. I'm sure his fucking mental health would be all over the goddamn shop. But he's taken his shot, man. He's taken that opportunity, and I just have mad respect for the bloke. I barely know him. I've DM'd him once or twice. He wouldn't pick me up from a fucking, from a person on the street. It doesn't matter. It's just like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, man. The fact that this guy's gone from nobody to somebody and is like living so close to the pinnacle of the dream so quickly. He's bypassed so much of the fucking grunt work. And he's someone that deserves it, right? I don't think he would come up with some cool shit. Once he's out of survival mode, settled down, his family's, he's got enough to get by and get his family going. I think, man, yeah, it'll be great for him. It'll be great. So, yeah. A little bit of a man crush there. Well, it's more just like a fuck ton of respect for a guy that's living. This guy could not be living anymore on the edge of his experience. And that is fucking cool to see. You got to respect a man that's in there, right? He's governed by God, right? He's a staunch Catholic, religious. Something's taken him there, right? The great powers that be, the great beyond, the spirits, the universe is working in that guy's favor, and you gotta fucking love it. You gotta love it. Again, I don't think James will ever see this or hear this. It's just like, fuck yeah, dude. Inspirational shit. And yeah, full power to you, buddy. And on that positive note, folks, I'm going to leave it there for this week. You know where to find me, techsales.academy. If you got any questions, you want to hit me up, email, DM, you know what I'm at, j@techsales.academy, @JamilJRaymond on all the socials. See you next week, folks. Love yous all. Ciao for now.